All right, so check this out. In the middle of the night last night, Donald Trump went on a social media posting rampage, posting nonstop about what's taking place in California. He threatened the governor, he threatened the mayor of Los Angeles. It was just really crazy stuff. As you know, this is a pretty normal occurrence for Donald Trump. When he gets antsy in the middle of the night, he'll just start letting posts fly. And last night was no exception to the rule. So I want to start here, which is where things really kicked off. He wrote in a Truth Social post, Governor Gavin Newsome, still breaking out the childish nicknames even in the moment of crisis, and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of Los Angeles for the absolutely horrible job that they have done, and this now includes the ongoing LA riots. They are not protesters, they are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. Now, there's so much wrong with this post. It's kind of hard to break it all down in a quick way. But first and foremost, they have absolutely nothing to apologize for. They've handled this situation really well. And prior to Donald Trump's involvement in the protests in Los Angeles, things were calm. The police said that, yeah, there were no violent protests. All of our needs have been met by the state. We don't need the National Guard. As soon as Donald Trump sent in the National Guard, protests started to spiral. Things got worse, and you can see that on the timeline. If you just watch how things have progressed, as soon as Donald Trump got involved, things got worse. So he actually has to apologize. And also, this part of this is incredibly concerning to me. He says they are not protesters, they are troublemakers and insurrectionists. So these people in LA, who 99% of them are protesting so their neighbors, their friends, their families, their loved ones aren't detained by ICE, those people are insurrectionists in the mind of Donald Trump. But the people on January 6th who were breaking into the Capitol building, beating police officers, trying to overturn an election, those people are patriots, according to Donald Trump. The hypocrisy is astounding. And this whole no masks thing is a reference to his post the other night, where he said, great job by the National Guard in Los Angeles after 2 days of violence. The National Guard wasn't there yet when he posted this, which is ironic. We have an incompetent governor and mayor who can't do the job. And then he says down here, these radical left protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers will not be tolerated. Also, from now on, masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. What do these people have to hide and why? Again, thank you to the National Guard. So once again, he's doubling down on this thing of no masks. He's calling for anybody wearing a mask to be arrested and saying that they're banned. Now, obviously, Donald Trump does not have the power to do that. He cannot just say, oh, you can't wear a mask. But that's his new position, that he thinks he can just tell you what to wear on your face or not in public. It is absolutely insane. Then here's this post, which I thought was also incredibly concerning. Also, both words in this sentence, it's a 2-word sentence. Both words are lies. Only Donald Trump could find out a way to lie in a 2-word sentence. Twice, by the way. Nobody is paid and they're not insurrectionists. But him claiming that people in California are insurrectionists is setting a very bad precedent. To me, that means that Donald Trump is laying the groundwork for something worse. Yesterday, at an impromptu press conference that we talked about on this channel, a reporter asked him, what are the rules for engagement? He said, if we think that there is a serious insurrection or less than that, we're going to have law and order. And he was asked how you define an insurrection. He didn't give an answer. But he was saying, if there's an insurrection and people engaging in insurrection, then we'll send in the troops. Then we'll send in the military. Maybe we'll invoke the Insurrection Act. And now what is Donald Trump doing? He's calling them insurrectionists. To me, and you can tell me in the comments if you agree or not, to me, that seems like he's laying the groundwork to invoke the Insurrection Act, to send the military into California. We've already seen him and Pete Hegseth threaten to send Marines into California, into Los Angeles, and now he's making it abundantly clear. And on that point, Donald Trump actually flirted with that very later in this post as well. It's pretty crazy. He said, Jim McDonnell, the highly respected LAPD chief, just stated that the protesters are getting very much more aggressive and that he would have to reassess the situation as it pertains to bringing in the troops. He should right now, he said. He should right now. Don't let these thugs get away with this. Make America great again. So Donald Trump in this post is directly calling for troops to be deployed to California, into Los Angeles. This is at 12:14 in the morning. He's not mincing words here. He's not saying, well, maybe we have to. He's demanding that the, quote, highly respected LAPD chief bring in the troops. He said he should do it right now. So when we're talking about Donald Trump possibly invoking the Insurrection Act, as we read these posts, as it gets later into the night, he's becoming more and more interested in that idea. He's saying, hey, why not? Let's bring in these troops. And again, I want to reiterate that Donald Trump is the reason that it is the way it is. So when he's talking about needing troops, when he's talking about law enforcement being overwhelmed, the reason they're overwhelmed is because of Donald Trump. It's almost like he manufactured this crisis to make sure that police got overwhelmed just so he could send in the troops. And that's exactly what Gavin Newsome pointed out on social media last night, which perhaps inspired some of Donald Trump's rants. He said, let's get this straight. Local law enforcement, one, didn't need help. Two, Trump sent troops anyway to manufacture chaos and violence. Three, Trump succeeded. Four, now things are destabilized and we need to send in more law enforcement just to clean up Trump's mess. So when he's talking about bringing in the troops, it's almost like he had this plan the entire time to look at a situation that's under control, cause more chaos in this situation so he can justify sending in the troops and then taking credit for solving the situation, which Donald Trump does all the time. Again, he's not being coy here. He's saying it out loud, like, hey, we need to deploy the troops. And it also gets worse. Later in the night at 12:16 a.m., he followed this up with looking really bad in LA, bring in the troops. Once again, doubling down on this idea that troops need to be brought into Los Angeles. And I think part of the reason that Donald Trump is so angry in all of these posts is because Gavin Newsome called him out directly to his face on live television. He had a message for Donald Trump during his interview with MSNBC last night. Take a look at the clip.
I have a feeling there's a pretty good chance that in the White House there might be a television on and he might be watching us
I hope so.
right now.
Yeah, he can learn something.
What might you say to him if I'll give you the floor, you have the opportunity, what you weren't able to say to him on that phone call or calls that he hasn't taken today?
Where's your decency, Mr. President? Stop. Rescind this order. It's illegal and unconstitutional. And I said it, I'll say it again, it's immoral. You're creating the conditions that you claim you're solving, and you're not. And you're putting real people's lives at risk. This is a serious moment, and it requires serious leadership. And it's time for you to be a commander-in-chief of the United States of America. And I will have your back if you want to work in a relationship of trust and truth in the spirit of our founding fathers. But you come after poor kids, you come after families, we will do everything in our power to stand up and stand in your way.
Boom. And you can see in the top right, it's around, when he's saying this, it's around 7:37 p.m. West Coast time around when he was giving this interview, which is interestingly around the same time that Donald Trump started sending off his original Truth Social post down here, insulting Gavin Newsome. So it's almost like Donald Trump was watching the TV, got so angry and started insulting Gavin Newsome. But the final post I want to bring to your attention is this one, where he, at 12:19 in the morning, said, arrest the people in face masks now. He's doubling down again. This is tripling down on the idea that somebody should just be arrested for wearing a mask. That seems very dictatorial to me. That seems very illegal to me. You can't be arrested for wearing a mask. What is this guy talking about? He's the president of the United States. He's not the judge, jury, and executioner. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? It's so frustrating to watch the president of the United States behave in this way. And you can see people in the comments saying it's time to invoke the Insurrection Act. All of these MAGA freaks are really just doubling down and backing Donald Trump at every opportunity they have. It's just so strange. But this is Donald Trump's social media rant. Let me just refresh the page to make sure he didn't post anything new. He hasn't. But yeah, going off in the middle of the night, just ranting nonstop, putting out these really scary posts. So I can only imagine what tomorrow brings or today brings, but we shall see. I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.